actually Piston Punch. It is a straight up move. It's almost like Zero Suits up B, where it just absolutely takes you. There's so many setups into it, and it's just a super strong move. It's if he gets it, you'll know. And oh my God, why is that so strong?
Well, here we go. Sinnyboo242 against Liberation. Liberation repping the Brawler. And yeah, just a quick hand warmer to start off. Do you think that the style of gameplay that we're going to be seeing from Sinnyboo, that much more long, drawn-out, maybe projectile-oriented gameplay is going to make it difficult for this Brawler to get in?
I think that's one thing about Brawler that a lot of people don't realize is that I guess it depends what custom move that that Brawler is using. If it's shot put, then no, it doesn't have any problem because shot put's very strong, put on good damage. But if he's using the charge punch, which is kind of like a KO punch style move, yeah, it's going to be a little bit difficult because he doesn't have any zoning tools.
Let's see what sort of tricks we can expect from Liberation. For real this time, it's Sinnyboo242 against Liberation. Take it away.
We will see if Liberation is able to liberate his portion of the stage, because that's what's going to be really important here. Is that Sheik, she wants to stay back and charge needles and then get the guaranteed combos and stuff like that. It's going to be real important for Liberation to stay on top of Sinnyboo.
No, definitely. The second that you give a character like Sheik that chance to really move, that chance to breathe, that chance to set up needles, man, you're really spelling your own doom. And that's what we've seen so far from Liberation is he's trying to play the close game. He doesn't want to give Sinnyboo too much room. The only issue with that is Sheik has some insane frame data. I mean, she can dish it out right back if you try to overextend trying to pressure her.
Okay, so he is using helicopter kick, and that is a very, very powerful move. That has diagonal sideways knockback, so stages that have small sides, Smashville with that platform, and then Town and City are going to be a good picks. On the other hand, Piston Punch kills off the top, so we could possibly see a switch if we get to Town and City or something like that. Wow, that was really close.
Yeah, very close. This does remind me a bit of a Zero Suit, except instead of a tether grab, she has a standard.
Yeah. And that's actually kind of makes a big difference, without having to rely on that 4 grab. Brawler can try and go for some more stuff, and with a big advantage here, Sinnyboo is going to have to actually be the aggressor. Normally he likes to just chill back, let people make mistakes.
Now Sinnyboo, he does bounce around between Iowa and Minnesota. Do you think he has the experience to deal with a character like Mii Brawler?
To be honest, I doubt it. The only Brawler that I know of that's in the Midwest that's actually worth his salt, other than Liberation, clearly, is actually going to be Z2G from Wisconsin. And Z2G does make his way to Minnesota. He's originally from there, but other than that, Brawler is pretty foreign to many of these players here today.
Oh, that's brutal.
That is brutal, and that is the charge punch that I mentioned earlier. It dashes in and gets almost like a multi-hit KO punch. That last hit, so much knockback.
And Sinnyboo, despite being the #1 seed in this pool, is yet to actually take a stock. Some of those Sheik nerfs might be really playing a factor here.
Yeah, I have to say that Liberation, ever since taking that first stock, has almost been playing Sinnyboo's game back at him. He's letting Sinnyboo make the mistakes and then capitalizing off of them because, you have to realize that unless you get that nice back air.
Yeah. That was a reverse of that situation where it was actually Liberation getting a bit greedy, going for the helicopter kick, and Sinnyboo running off and getting the bear.
So, but Sheik at 119, a lot of what Brawler can do is basically going to kill. The helicopter kick, an omnipresent threat.
Always a factor, and I mean more so than ever now that we see Sinnyboo at 136. I mean, this is again such a huge deficit. She can make it up from a percentage standpoint, but I'm looking on how Sinnyboo could possibly actually get the KO.
Yeah, Sheik. I mean, it's a common Sheik thing, but she does have trouble killing. Doesn't have any trouble getting killed.
It's true.
So Liberation actually taking game 1. Congratulations to Lib. Going up here, putting Sinnyboo's back against the wall. As a #1 seed, you typically don't think that you're going to lose to anybody in a round robin. And, let's see how he responds. That was actually the first, so my little notepad here, I write down all the stuff. That's the first time the person on the right won. Maybe I should change that up.
Yeah, the right is looking hot.
Yeah, right's looking hot
right now.
All right, going to game 2, sticking with Smashville. pretty obvious in my opinion. Sheik does really good on Smashville. I think Sinnyboo just basically made a couple of key mistakes.
Yeah, I felt like we didn't see, maybe just because of Sinnyboo's playstyle, but we didn't see the early game that Sheiks are really known for.
Yeah.
Like off the high percent racking combos off of the grabs. Now we're finally starting to see some of them.
And that's actually one of the things about Sinnyboo's game. You know, he said play lane, win game. He's so passive of a player that if someone really takes it to him, it looks like he is having a little bit of trouble figuring out how to respond.
Yeah, you know, I don't think he might not be actually used to this sort of pressure, especially with tools like the needles. You cover a lot of characters' movement options, but again, maybe the matchup and experience is not allowing him to find the right timing. So far, doing significantly better in this game, but we've seen the power of that helicopter kick. If Liberation can get one of these grabs here, I think he'd be able to convert, at least from a damage standpoint.
And that's really what he needs. He needs to build some damage right now because the helicopter kick has such a strong final hit that all he has to do is, after he gets his damage built up, is read one air dodge because it lasts longer than any air dodge in the game.
The one stock that Sinnyboo took out previously was with a back air, and that time going for the bouncing fish, actually connecting and taking the stock.
Not a good trade there for Liberation. Now it's the ball is in Sinnyboo's court. He can play his game. He can make Liberation try and make mistakes.
75 on Sinnyboo, man. I'll tell you what, he adapted so well to the situation. And what we're seeing from him that strikes me is now we're seeing Sinnyboo start to play the game on his terms rather than playing on Liberation's terms.
However, he's only able to get 26% of extra credit, and now Liberation's right back in this.
Yeah, actually charging up the charge punch on top of that. There's a like it says, it definitely packs punch, to say the least. I mean, that's really going to hurt. But again, Sinnyboo now is trying to use really safe pressure tools to just rack on this consistent damage. He wants to keep Liberation in the corner, make it so he doesn't have all that many options, and then close out strong with a bear or a bouncing fish.
And that's really what we didn't see at all there, is that Sinnyboo couldn't find kills. Like, he couldn't find any situation that Liberation was giving him to try and get one. He had to earn it by reading that mess up by Liberation, and now we will see if he's able to get one here.
A great spot. He didn't want to challenge the landing, or perhaps he was expecting the landing to be elsewhere. Either way. Ooh, can't top of the helicopter kick.
Yeah, I mean, so I think the big difference there is, like, for instance, like Piston Punch probably would have killed there, catching that high in the air. But Helicopter Kick does not have the kill power off the top to do it.
Right. It's like you said, it's more horizontal oriented, whereas the Piston Punch is vertically oriented.
Yeah. So this is actually our first game 3 of the day. Liberation versus Sinnyboo. Sinnyboo taking that one on Smashville. We'll see if there's actually a counter pick here, or if this is just going to be a Smashville set.
I mean, who knows? He could have an alternate setup. Do you think that this is a situation where you might swap in the Piston Punch?
I could definitely see Piston Punch happening. Doesn't look like it's not going to, but like a town and city pick would definitely be the spot to do. Like, regardless, because again, not only small ceilings, but also like small sides.
This is it, game number 3 between Liberation and Sinnyboo. Liberation came out so strong in the first game, but the adaptation and the changes that we've seen from Sinnyboo, they really overwhelmed Liberation in that last game.
Yeah, I have to say that Liberation is going to be the one that needs to make more adjustments here, because Sinnyboo certainly adjusted, as you said. Liberation, though, he kind of played the same game, and because of that, Sinnyboo was able to figure him out and get the win in game 2.
And there, Sinnyboo knew that if he just charged up his needles, he could cover almost everything because Liberation missed the tech option.
Now, that is one thing that I'm liking from Liberation there, is that when he notices that he's in a bad spot, like, and he's about to get bouncing fish, he gets out of dodge with his own kind of bouncing fish style move.
Very good, just to avoid pressure. You haven't seen him use it that much for offensively, but defensively, it certainly has the parts. But speaking of offense, ooh, that helicopter kick is so big. I think that KO'd something like 80%.
Yeah, that was like 80%. And basically all that happened there was that Sinnyboo just kind of jumped into it. Like, it wasn't any sort of like kill setup or anything like that. He just sort of read that Sinnyboo was going to try and be aggressive and fell right into the whirling blades of that kick.
Wow, what a grab sequence from Sinnyboo. I love that he landed without doing any move whatsoever. just to ensure he could go and get that grab. Really smart mix-up from Sinnyboo. It's very evident to me that we're seeing a very high level of player, but can he make the adjustments necessary in such an unfamiliar matchup?
And I really think that is what's spelling doom here, is that I know that if we were to interview Sinnyboo after this, he'd be like, what's a brawler? Like, what is this character even?
And in contrast, because Sheik is, especially in the previous patch, considered to be like one of the best, if not the best character in the game, everyone has that Sheik practice.
Yeah, so it's kind of a double-edged sword. You're like, yeah, your character's really good, but that means everyone's fighting against it. Whereas Brawler, a little bit underrated in my opinion, you know, even without the small variant. Oh, wow.
But Sinnyboo demonstrating, even if you know what to do against this character, you might not know what to do against me. Oh, helicopter kick, going to be getting air dodged right through. Liberation really could smell the KO there. And Sinnyboo
honestly,
knew it.
If Liberation would have just waited half a second longer to start that, that might have been it. Oh, no tech. That platform showed up at the exact wrong time.
Down throw. And not finding the aerial afterwards. These air dodges have been working in Sinnyboo's favor, but like you said, a single way could change everything.
Oh, there it was. He read the air dodge, but Sinnyboo air dodge and then immediately jumped to get away from it. There's a really tense moment, you know, with Brawler having that locked and loaded at any time. He's reaching for it a little bit too hard now, though.
Ooh,
up air, and that'll do it. Woo, and a little bit of a pop-off there from Sinnyboo, and they're hugging it out, knowing that that was a incredibly close match.
Sometimes you just have to.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like
when it's that emotionally charged.
Because you know, even though, again, it was a situation where while he had the percent lead, because of the KO potential that